Can't make Canada Spaceman wait, guys. We have to go live. We have to go now. You're supposed to bring the snacks, Canada Spaceman. You provide the snacks for us because we are providing the content and the entertainment here for you at hackerhameen.podbean.com, as well as Channel Attitude, as well as Hameen Media YouTube channel, as which we are live here. My name is Colin Wysong, and I am here each and every week with my main man, the vet, and our lovely third wheel, the lovely, the luscious Wrestle House Daddy, Brandon. Brandon, we're gonna let you say what's up before we let the vet say what's up today. So, Brandon, how's it going?
Yo, whoop, whoop, what it do? Doing good.
I did have the chips, Lizbeth. I had Outer Banks sea salt flavored kettle cooked chips from the Carolina kettle cooked chip company here in North Carolina. Vet, how dare you besmirch the name of my chips there, eating some bland chips. Vet, how's it going today?
You right there. You said it. I didn't. Bland
They
chips.
weren't bland chips. They were
bland chips. Who the hell
with salt
would eat original flavored things when there are so many flavors in the world to choose from?
Me and Sonic the Hedge-Rat and Lizbeth. It's 3.
Well, that's 3 out of 7 billion. So I think
we can find more. We'll find more.
Sure you can. But there's nothing wrong with if you go back to basics once in a while, but just remember that there's a lot of horizons that you must expand to. I find that you talk to a lot of people and they just haven't ever done anything. They just stick with what they know. And then you ask, well, do you like this? And they're like, no. And then, what do you mean no? Have you tried it? No. And well, that's my experience in life.
There's one thing you're going to learn about me. I love missionary every single night.
I thought you were going to say, I smoke rocks.
I smoke rocks, Joe Rogan.
Peanut butter and crack sandwich.
Chips do come from Canada. I will say I had the all spice or all seasoning, whatever the chip is in Canada, where they put like every seasoning and flavor on it. It was very delicious. Very delicious. Now, if you want a chip that is on the opposite of plain, that you get the allspice, whatever chip allspice. It is from Canada, the Old Spice.
It sounds like something that wars were fought over in a science fiction movie or something.
I have to find this. Lay's Canadian. All dressed. That's what they call it. All dressed.
Oh yeah, I've had that.
Yeah.
It's even got a little maple leaf on it to let you know that it's from Canada. Those Canada. Like ruffles.
Okay.
Whereas Ricky calls him dressed all over.
All right. Well, let's see. Anything? Do you guys have anything that y'all want to talk about before we jump right in? Because we've got a very action-packed episode of your Impact Attack here. Lizbeth, your Magic 8 Ball was correct. I only watched the pay-per-view, and by only watched the pay-per-view as I sped watch through the pay-per-view, hitting the 15-second skip about 5 or 6 times, then watching, and then hitting it like 2 or 3 times, then watching, and then hitting it once and watching. And then if something happened, I would reverse and then go back and watch that and then hit it fast again. So I watched about a 2-hour pay-per-view in about 30, 45 minutes.
I wish it were a 2-hour pay-per-view. It was 100% a 3-hour pay-per-view.
Okay, well then I watched a 3-hour pay-per-view.
But we'll get to that
75% less than time.
Yeah. Well, did you didn't happen to catch any Survivor Series, did you?
Mm-mm.
The big, it's where teams of 5 strive to survive, or something like that. I've heard that
brand
before.
Supremacy for a company that owns both brands.
For a company that owns both brands and keeps releasing teams of 5.
Yeah. Well, and people that were literally on the other brand just a week ago now are so loyal about the brand that they've been on for a week.
Yep. And now they're all going to get accused of stealing a golden egg. So
no. Well, They did, but guess who stole the egg? Vet,
I don't know. I didn't watch Raw. Why? What happened?
our boy Austin Theory.
He stole it.
He stole the egg.
Do you want to take a selfie with it?
I don't. He's in the. There's. I've seen pictures online of Austin Theory is the one that stole the egg. Just like WWE fashion, they find a way to not make whoever stole the egg cool. But because Vince McMahon sees a lot of himself in Austin Theory, he gave Austin Theory a championship match tonight. So I don't know how that went.
Oh, you know he's going senile.
Yeah,
Man, that was. If you saw anything of like his little scenes on the show or whatever, it's just so pathetic. Like, this seems like something he's involved in. It seems like something he would have yelled at somebody for writing or coming up with, or at least at some point in time he would have. And I know it's like a forced promotion with, The Rock's movie, since The Rock refused to be involved with any of this bullshit. But they were, but he said, but you may promote my Netflix film Red Notice, now available streaming. And here's a golden egg or whatever. But yeah, it's just it makes Impact look good by comparison. And that is never something that you used to say about the WWE.
that's definitely not something you would say about them.
And when we started, reviewing Impact, it seemed like the worst wrestling show, and it might have been, but it's far been supplanted by Raw and even SmackDown to a degree. This is they are doing the worst, and NXT. They are doing the worst that they've ever done right now. So, in the tradition of Vince McMahon liking firsts and greatest first evers and making history and stuff like that, he can be confident that every show that he puts out is now the new worst show that they've ever done. So, congratulations.
Well, I have something that I want to share that happened on let me see, let me get this right. That happened on the oh, it's not gonna let me. Happened on Raw today. I don't know if you guys have seen what's been trending. Let me pull this up. Spoiler alert again, Canada Spaceman, but you've probably already seen this if you've been on the old YouTubes. Here, if I blow this up, can you guys still see that? Did it blow it up?
It did,
All right.
but I still don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, okay.
That is a fan.
Who the fuck is this? That's a fan. What the fuck is you doing, boy? What the fuck? What the fuck is going on, bro?
Damn.
What the fuck?
Now, what was really cool, and one of the other angles of the videos that I saw, you actually see somebody standing in a gorilla, and it's somebody who's got no shirt on and they're jacked. So I'm wondering which WWE superstar was about to come out and save Seth Rollins. I don't know. What'd you think of that takedown? And the defense?
It was nice for the people that aren't watching with us on video. Some fat guy came and tackled Seth Rollins on his way back up the ramp, and then he was swarmed by security. Yeah, it was a nice double leg to got Seth Rollins with. We all know Seth Rollins is the extent of Seth Rollins' amateur wrestling experience. I think is just the apartment wrestling that he did at the start of his career. So it's about as
stuff.
Yeah, I think that's about
our champion.
That's right. So not too surprising, but
very.
There was a time when I would condemn a fan for ruining the show like that, but it's like they can't do any worse than what the company's doing.
How about that fan with the run up though? I mean, he definitely hopped the fence and got a lot of momentum for a very like he didn't hit that spear like Roman would have hit that spear or like Edge would have hit that spear. He just kind of like just shoulder tackled the guy.
Like he just
It was effective.
It looked like he threw like everything he had into him.
Yeah, and then it was putting his balls all over Seth Rollins' face.
Mark used tackle. It was super effective.
Oh man, that was great. I don't even want to talk about Impact. Let's just talk about Seth Rollins' take down the fence here.
Yeah, let's
We'll
break
down
down.
Seth Rollins' video.
Yeah, I don't know.
And see, we're missing a Monday Night Raw review show here at Hameen Media Group that would be able to talk about all these things. But yeah, here we are. Here we are, reviewing Impact when the longest running episodic television show on Hameen Media Group doesn't even have a review show.
Well, like I said, at this point, I think we are on the right show. I don't because that's the thing. There's nothing to say about Raw. Whenever I listen to, Ben and Stevie talk about SmackDown, and then when they talk about Raw with Vince, I'm just like, you guys are dignifying this bullshit by even mentioning it. Like no one should be, and they're providing real good insights into some of the stuff that is or isn't happening, and if you could see like the inside of my brain when Raw or SmackDown is happening, it's just like it would just be one long exasperated sigh. That's what it. You know what I mean? I can't even muster the strength or energy to dignify something like Austin Theory and the Golden Egg. Like, what am I supposed to say about that? What do I say about it?
A great book, Austin Theory and the Golden Egg.
Right. That right there. That's more insight and effort than I can muster.
Sounds like a Roald Dahl book, exactly.
One man, aloof to the world, finds a golden egg. Dun dun.
Can he take enough selfies with the egg?
One man takes the ultimate selfie in Vince McMahon's office.
Liz is writing the book now.
She's writing it.
That's the main protagonist in the movie.
Oh, thanks.
And antagonist. One of the two.
The part of me will be played by Lance Storm.
Very, very much like a kettle cooked potato chip. It's very, very plain performance there.
with sea salt from my polluted coast.
Much like missionary position. Okay, enough Roman Reigns. We are here because it's Moose. It's the Moose attack. By the way, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy, hold, or sell, but you should go buy Dogebonk.
This fucking guy.
If you can find it, 400% gains in just 3 weeks. Vet, how you doing? You ready to talk Impact Wrestling? Do you just want to run down the results of the normal Impact show, and then we'll get into a little more in-depth breakdown of the pay-per-view? Brandon, if you stop him at any matches and you interject anything that you saw or any notes that you have from these Impact Wrestling results that he's going to give you.
Yeah, we could do that. I can run it down. I do have some notes on it, but it's not going to take long, even if we discuss some things. But we're going to start with Bert, our man Bert versus Laredo Kid. This was to see if there was going to be a 3-way match at Turning Point, and to surprise of almost no one, I guess it will be a 3-way match because Burt Macklin easily dispatches Laredo Kid. I say easily, relatively speaking. The note I had on this match before Brandon adds his thoughts is Burt has been doing this like suicide dive move, like a low-angled suicide dive, and hitting these guys just to show that, I don't know what, he belongs in the X Division. I don't know what he's thinking, but it looks pretty like devastating, I guess, when this big guy jumps through the ropes at you, and you know, you have to get tackled. But in the logistics of what's really happening here, like, it's not fair to ask smaller guys to try to catch you when you're doing something like that. It's just not like that for what you're getting. No one's ever gonna. First of all, no one's watching this. Second of all, no one's ever gonna talk about it besides this right here. This is the only time this is ever gonna be talked about in the world right now. So this is another exclusive. So Vince, if you want to sign me, you know, I'm a first ever guy too. And yeah, so like, I just wouldn't want to do this. I wouldn't want to take this. I probably would just tell him, no, just don't do that. I don't know if Laredo Kid feels like he's in the position to do that or not, but yeah, not a fan of that. But you know,
well, we'll have a ridiculous move to talk about when we get to the three-way match on the pay-per-view.
We're gonna have a lot of ridiculous things to talk about. But yeah,
Except
that's all I had.
The Inspiration, they look great.
Hey, yeah, you know. So Brandon, if you had anything on this, or
Oh, yeah, man. I thought I had a decent beginning and a decent finish, and up until the rest of it, the middle was kind of it seemed kind of discombobulated a little bit. I think like might have gotten knocked out on that one because it looked like his head kind of got jarred, and you see them getting kind of close to him. It seemed a little improvised a little bit.
which part was that where he got
With to the outside.
the dive? Was it? Oh. Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you. I don't know if the internet over there is.
It's the rabbit ears.
Ah.
The rabbit ear reception that Frank Pricklebarrel ass was talking about. He's on his old 1970s
console
Apple.
TV.
He's on the old Mac.
So,
Yeah, I mean, like, but you can tell a decent story with the bigger guy trying to match a smaller guy, but like you got to train luchador in Laredo Kid and just have him just run circles around him, and then have him do the old heel, get frustrated, and that's when you start striking and using the power moves.
yep, it's simple. That's all you got to do. Instead, he's trying to just do the lucha stuff. Sometimes, but yeah, I don't know.
Like for that, I was asked, my simple house should dive would have worked.
Well, like I said, it's a three-way. So here we get a little clip from BTI, Myers versus Soda, where Brian Myers murders Soda Thompson with chairs. I guess BTI has no security also. Swamak shows up a little bit late. And then as Soda's being looked at by Dr. Cadaver, Rich Swann cuts an impassioned promo challenging Myers at Turning Point. So we think we're going to get Rich Swann versus Brian Myers, which we definitely don't need or want, but we could get cliffhanger. So any thoughts on this, Brandon? I thought Rich Swann did good here for what he's given, but I'm not just really that into the deal here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking Rich Swann. I mean, he delivered the material very well. He's quickly become one of my favorite promos.
Right. Now, on the opposite of favorite promos, Trey Miguel says something. I wasn't really listening. What'd he say?
I was talking about the Macklin whining and complaining about and finally getting in the match, and it's basic promo, and he did kind of make it a point to where he says he's going to try to pin Macklin just to shut him up and say like, okay, I beat you.
Yeah, right. Which that actually does try to come into play later. Then we got the Ace and Madman with Gia, and no music. Interrupted by Sabin, who just promptly kicks both their asses and locks Fulton in a fridge. Because he's.
I beat Chris Sabin.
I'm Chris Sabin, bitch.
Yeah.
I beat Chris Sabin.
Yeah, you don't talk about Chris Sabin that way. He'll put you in a fridge. It's pretty on brand for Chris Sabin to just fuck everybody up and be Goldberg, or at least Goldberg '98. Not really Goldberg now.
Got little Petey Pump, and then he's the Goldberg of the group. He's little Goldberg, little Goldie.
He's big Goldie. He
Chris
thinks
Sabin.
he is. He's not even playing small. He's just straight up Goldberg. The Undead Brides versus the inspiration. So, thank you very much, Colin. Being undead doesn't grant any extra actual ability, so the bride's taking L here. And then Decay surrounds inspiration after the match. The lights go out, and then all of a sudden Decay appears in full strength, all four of them, and they surround the inspiration. And the inspiration are scared, and then nothing happens, so they leave. So, a little bit of a letdown, wouldn't you say?
It's just sticking to the horror movie trope of, the scary guys are coming and they're just sitting there. Oh no, they're coming.
Yeah. I'm trapped in this ring that has multiple openings and escape routes, but I'm stuck.
Decay has special abilities, but Undead Brides no special abilities. I don't get that.
No, in fact, it seems like now that they're undead, they lose faster than ever, which is a plus. So it's like a lower HP bar, I guess. Like the HP bar is shortened, and they can't withstand as much.
It's like when your character's poisoned or whatever, and you have stats. Your stats are lessened because of it. Yes.
Right. Now Frank is saying in the chat 8 on the cakes, but what cakes? There was 4 women here, so. Are you just saying overall you thought that the cake presentation was an 8? I thought most of them were pretty covered up.
The cake presentation in Survivor Series women's 8 tag match was a lot better. Had Tony Storm in there and Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Brandon is in a robe. Don't you hate? I will slip into a robe too if necessary.
Mm-hmm.
My robe game has been complimented by Aaron Stevens. Damian Sandow complimented my robe game, and he would know. He is the connoisseur of robes.
Right.
He said my polo terry cloth robe is an excellent choice for robes.
What does he think of Ray's G4 silk robe?
I don't think he's seen Ray's G4 silk robe. We'll have to.
I think he's got to see it.
We have to show it to him. Yeah, no, it's
right.
pretty. That's a dope robe, though. I was jealous of Ray's G4 silk robe. Now, have the people seen Ray's G4 silk robe yet?
Well, if they tune into the next level wrestling review, they saw Ray wearing the silk robe, and so you can go back and try to find this private video. Yeah. So
apparently Frank's pickle barrel ass was watching New Japan. The vet is proud of you, Frank.
Frank wasn't watching New Japan. He's just ribbing me. He just loves to throw in those New Japan things. Well, the joke's on him. It's the only good wrestling show left.
Look, even Becky was busting out the cakes the other night. Liz is correct.
Yes, I liked it, and let me tell you,
I love everybody's roasting Ray in the chat. Yes,
right.
That's so
I will say this: as bad as Survivor Series was, at least it started with Becky and Charlotte, and got to go downhill from there. But they had a real good match. So props to those ladies. I want to say that in public. Then we get a flashback to Victory Road, Rhino and Heath versus Reno Scum. Yeah, all right. 2 things that we don't probably want to remind anybody watching of. You're already lucky to have anybody watching this. So there's a couple things you probably don't want to remind them of. Empty arena wrestling. Okay, we don't want to remember that this has been a thing up until just a few weeks ago for Impact, okay? And we also don't want to remind them of the husband and wife commentary team. This went on for almost 4 minutes. This is just supposed to be like a little flashback clip. I don't really know why this was here, other than Rhino and Heath have a match at Turning Point, but this was not. This match seemed to mean nothing, and I really didn't get the significance of it besides all the things I just said. This is a very, very weird flashback choice for this.
Yes,
Brandon,
30 seconds finishing singing is all you need.
Right. Yeah, and even that you don't need. You could just skip.
Homeboy,
you could have sold 4 more minutes worth of ads to try to help you out on Access TV. Sell more Nugenics pills with commercials with Frank Thomas and stuff.
Homeboy 88 saying what's up, vet, in the chat.
Yeah, that's right. What's up, Homeboy 88? And he doesn't want to know what's up with you guys, so just be quiet
No,
on this one. Okay?
we won't say anything. We won't say anything.
Don't talk about what's up with you. You had your chance at the beginning of the show. You
You'll have to go back, and
if
if you care about what's up with us, listen at the top of the show.
That's right. And if you're listening and you forgot, rewind it.
Rewind. Yeah. I can bust the robe out. I mean, if we need to go matching robes here, Brandon and I.
We don't really need
the
to.
robe out. I mean, I can.
It'll be all right. So, all right. Now here's the part where we hand it over to Brandon because Chelsea Green is here. She's with Matt and Dia and no music, and they're interrupted by Morrissey. So take it away, Brandon.
Oh man, so Chelsea, of course, looking gorgeous as usual, and Chelsea had a fantastic outfit on. And then, of course, we had Morrissey show up and talking about the title shot between him and Cardona, talking about being the roadblock, which is simple, basic. I want the belt, you want the belt, and we've got to fight each other for it.
Yes, very basic, very simple. All right, then we get Fat Eddie with Gia and no music underneath. He gets jumped by Moose. This spills out to the ring. No security. Eddie takes 2 slams on the apron and the chair collar thing into the ring post, and somehow ends up climbing on a ladder to leap onto Moose within moments of that. So that's a little sneak preview of what you guys are in for. And afterwards, as Moose escapes, he did not get leaped on. As he escapes, Scott tells Moose it's going to be Full Metal Mayhem at Turning Point. And at that point, I was just wondering, what is his headset plugged into anyway? He's got a cord dangling down, but he goes everywhere, so not really.
The cord it's a wireless headset, right? Where the cord hangs down, but it's actually the antenna, so that it can pick up the reception. It kind of helps, so he could, he's all over the stadium. But he's got to be able to pick up reception for the headset everywhere he goes in the stadium, especially when you deal with supernatural beings such as Decay. You never know if they can mess with the radio signals and the sound waves and stuff like that with their supernatural abilities. He is just being prepared for anything that can go. He's Scott D'Amore. He's way ahead of the game here. You know this. As much as we watch Impact, Scott is way ahead of the game in these situations.
First of all, shut up.
Look, he is way ahead of the situation.
Second of all, let me just play along with you here.
Wow, this is a first.
Yeah, let's play along here. He takes his headset off every time he shows up, so if somebody's trying to tell him something, he's not going to hear him anyway.
I mean, you could have it turned up. I mean, look, I can still hear you when you're talking. You turn it up a little bit.
These are my real life headphones with the volume turned way up.
All right. Turn my headset up.
Yeah.
Turn my headphones up.
Turn those shits up.
Turn them shits up.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was so we're getting a brawl to set up a match at the pay-per-view. Brandon, besides what I already said, what is wrong with this?
Didn't he just come back from a major neck injury from him doing the exact same thing? He does it again, and then all of a sudden he's no selling, and then actually on top and sending him running. What the fuck? That should have been a stretcher job.
Right. Yeah, this is what they used to do stretcher angles and stuff with, is power bombing somebody on the apron. When Kevin Owens would do it and people have to get carried out or whatever.
But then we got too many stretchers, and then the guy comes back, and then he gets stretchered out, and then he comes back. They did it way too many times now that it ruined that whole spot.
Yeah, and now that's just another spot. It's the same thing as giving somebody an arm drag. Just don't worry, he'll get back up, he'll recover, he'll be fine.
That's gonna be my new finishing move. I'm gonna go back to old school. I'm gonna finish you with an arm drag, and then pin you. How do you think that would go over, Vet?
I think
would you lose a match? Would you job to a guy that's like, all right, I'm gonna hip toss you for the pin?
I probably have. So that's not the issue. The issue is it going to be something that is worked to get over? People will believe anything, but You just have to make it commonplace and understood first. Still, I wouldn't do it. Especially not like, you're just doing this. This is just a fight to set up a match. And they have like a mini match with furniture, a mini brawl with furniture out here, just so that it's supposed to get us excited for another brawl with furniture on a pay-per-view. I don't know. Didn't really work for me, but that's what they went with. Next we get Mercedes talking to the camera. Then we get Hikuleo versus Luke Gallows. So Hikuleo's, my note on this is Hikuleo's chops are shitty enough as it is, but there's a guy wearing a vest. You might just want to leave it out altogether. I just wouldn't do it. Luke Gallows wins here. I didn't count how many chin locks. Brandon, did you catch the amount of chin locks in this? Or
I actually thought it might have this whole match felt like kind of like an inside joke and a rib between these guys. Like I noticed, like Hikuleo he was the one who had the chin lock on, and then like the next thing he did like went to another move like a cravat, almost like a cravat almost, but it's basically like another chin lock, like just right between the other, like almost like they were ribbing us, kind of.
They could have been.
I think we keep a cumulative total number of chin locks in this episode because we do have the Good Brothers later on this episode.
Well, don't worry. I made sure to turn on the counter for that, and
it happened very fast. Even in my fast watching, I caught at least like 3 headlocks.
Yeah, well,
chin locks.
Stay tuned. That's a little tease for later. Stay tuned, guys. Don't think about going to bed early or whatever you're doing, because you're gonna want to find out how many chin locks were in that match. Deanna sits down with Gia, and she's a little testy. I don't remember everything precisely that she said, but she basically, I want my title, right? Brandon, did I miss anything?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Then it was kind of like she blew off every question and said, I'm only here because I'm not contractually obligated to be here. Don't really care. Like, it was just really weird and awkward.
Right. It was awkward because they were trying to be awkward, and Deanna's trying to act. So it's like, oh, well, this is hard enough as it is, but Scott D'Amore gives Finn Juice a pep talk. Okay. Vignette from Violent by Design. Not really.
Did it get you pumped to see EY?
Already seen him. You know what I mean? Like, he had a match already since he's...
I know, but it's pay-per-view. It's big. It's him
Oh,
and Rhino.
yeah.
You know, it's the hype for the match.
Well, I guess when you put it that way, no.
Oh, okay. What about you, Brandon?
I mean, it's a good promo, has passion behind it, and believes in the character and the gimmick. He gets it over, at least.
Well, somebody's got to believe in it. Then we get the Swigger's Palace versus Decay and a tall undead bride. It's like a tall male undead bride is on Decay's team. Yeah, this was the Shitty Six, I guess, as you would call it. Everybody feeds in for soft clotheslines from the demon, and then he wins. So, yeah, that was that. Thoughts?
At least it was structured well, where they're keeping the demon to the minimum and just have him stand in the middle, bump and feed, finish. That was it.
Literally. Everybody run into the demon, please. Okay.
Didn't you like those matches too in OVW, where it was just like, all right, everybody run into the big guy? Isn't that easy work for you?
It can be, but
like you're just like shoulder tackle, fall down, and roll out of the ring. All right, I'm done, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff in wrestling is so easy, but I don't know if it overall, like, Impact needs to have, I think, a little bit more stuff like this just to get some faces on there. But when they try to get faces on there, sometimes it goes even too long a little bit. So I don't know. It's a weird balance, because if you're a wrestler, you don't want to just show up, put all your gear on, wait around all day, and then get in there for 30 seconds, and then that's it. But at the same time, sometimes the show doesn't need any more than that. Sometimes even that's too much. So there's always like a weird balance that I think a lot of fans don't really take into account of, yeah, these shows are bad sometimes, and sometimes these matches are too long, or sometimes these matches are too short. But I mean, somebody's not going to be happy with it. That's the thing. So I don't want to be in that position. I don't want to be in the booker's position. I don't want to be in a writer's position. I don't want to be in those type of positions to try to put that stuff together. So, I do sympathize with the struggle that it takes to put together just a classic good wrestling show. It's not that easy, but
Well,
then again,
the Striz taught us a little secret one time on the Wednesday locker room. Is he would book his shows, length of matches, and things like that based on revenue from the merch sales and how the merch line and everything was doing. Right, like he would kind of keeping track of the line and what matches were going on to make sure that he had people in the seats and merch was still able to generate sales and things like that. But yeah, too bad Striz isn't out here booking Impact for us.
well, but you're talking about booking a show, right? Like an independent show?
Yeah, I mean, it's all the 2CW stuff and any of the stuff that Striz has run in the past.
That's not television. That's just book a show. If you hand me a card full of wrestlers, I can make you a card. That's not the issue. The issue is, trying to time things out when you have like long-term planning for different, angles and things like that, and you're like, well, how much do I devote to this, and then if something changes, like, oh, this person's hurt, now we got to work around that or whatever, it's like that's the part that's a little more stressful. If you just need to book matches, then that's not too hard. I'm not obviously denigrating anything about Strangler Steve.
Of course. No. I get it. I get what you're saying. I mean, I get the difference between a house show and kind of the flow of it, and it can be on the fly compared to TV where there's structure, there's usually a script, there's some form of we've got to follow and hit these deadlines to hit commercials and all these other types of things. No, I get that. There is a question that I have for you come the Eric Young match during the pay-per-view, because I saw it's like a wrestling thing with how he was doing a lot of up downs and stuff like that. And I wanted to ask about that, but we'll get to that. Remind me, because I don't want to forget, and I almost asked you right here, so I don't forget.
I'll try to remind you, but I may forget.
Chat, remind us when we get to the EY portion of the pay-per-view.
And speaking of chat, Canada Spaceman wants to know if this is if this Kiss Demon is like a thing now. I'm sure he was just there for that set of tapings. So they taped about 4 episodes. So I don't think he'll be back, but you never know. Obviously, he's a huge hit with all the fans, and he can now be the 3rd Undead Bride. So,
well,
there's a future there.
Update. The chat is casting whatever movie. Jared Leto is playing Brandon, so that's there you go, Brandon. Wrestle House Daddy will be Jericho. The Dominicans will be played by actual Dominicans. So Ray just never gets away from the Dominicans. Keep up. Who would play Big Ray in this biopic that we have here about the Impact Attack? And who would play the Vet? Would the Vet play the Vet, or would we go out and get like a Michael Chiklis or
man? I'm not overweight.
Patrick Stewart. I'm trying to think of famous bald actors.
Famous bald men, yeah. Well, Frank already said Bruce Willis.
Ving Rhames.
Frank said Bruce Willis. Ving Rhames. I'll take a Ving Rhames.
We get
we have the meats.
Who is it? Samuel L. Jackson.
That's pride fucking with you.
Yep. Samuel L. Jackson could do it.
So they think you're a vampire, Brandon. Just even more heads up. Eat some garlic on air so they know. Spill some holy water on yourself.
How are we going to know if it's blessed water or not?
That is true. No, Brandon is not Jim Carrey. He should be played by Jared Leto. I like the Jared Leto cast there by Javi.
All right. Well, speaking of going off the rails, Decay teleports over to Johnny Bravo and tell him that they have a proposition here. Then we get to Jellering, and they say some stuff. Then they cut to Mickie, and she says some stuff. This is like the ECW smash cut portion of the show, but they only did like 1 or 2 smash cuts. So you gotta get like 6 promos in here if you want to do it right. And you can play music under that if you want. Just so you know, like whoever's idea it was originally to play music underneath promos, like you can brighten up their day by telling them there's this one time where you can do it and it's acceptable if you're ripping off ECW. And then we get to the main event, which is Minoru Suzuki versus Josh Alexander. Now, Brandon, I know you saw this, but Colin, this is something that you should have seen because, it's Minoru Suzuki versus Josh Alexander.
Really good. I probably should go back and watch this.
Yeah, you might want to. Well, I'll let Brandon tell you if you should or not. Go ahead, Brandon.
I decided to take a little different route watching this and kind of turn my experience off and just kind of watch it as from the perspective of a casual fan. And I thought it was actually a really good match. Seemed like it was designed to get Josh Alexander over as a guy who can just take a beating and not only like take it, but get back up and keep fighting back and eventually win.
Oh, wow. He went over on Suzuki. Very surprising.
Not if you follow Suzuki. Yes, I agree with that. For the people like that disparage Minoru Suzuki based on his appearance on AEW and other things or whatever, like Big Ray obviously had some disparaging remarks to say about Minoru Suzuki. I believe the quote is, "He stinks," is something that Ray has said on air. But this is a much better showcase for what he's capable of as a 50-something, 53, 54-year-old man. Going in there with a seasoned professional like Josh Alexander that does work that same, has an understanding of that same principle of match style. The one thing I did notice here was that on the whatever his move is, C4 Spike, is that what his like double wing pile driver is called or whatever? It seemed like Suzuki's head was looking dangerously low through the legs when he landed on it, but I suppose he's okay because he's already been back in New Japan for World Tag League, tagging with Taka Michinoku. That's right, guys. Minoru Suzuki and yes, Taka Michinoku. Yes, that Taka Michinoku. Yes, the choppy pee Taka Michinoku are a tag team right now in World Tag League. But so Suzuki's fine. He's already back wrestling. But it just looked like kind of a dangerous pile driver that he did. But Josh Alexander kept it safe, so props to him. But yeah, I think this is much more of a showcase piece for Minoru Suzuki if the fans that like Brandon, who are not familiar with him and had only seen him wrestle fucking Caleb or whatever for 45 seconds or whatever it took for him to beat him. Yeah,
it's so fun to watch him hassle young boys and young lions over there in New Japan. Right. That is like my favorite thing of Suzuki when he comes out. He just beats up the unsuspecting rookies on the outside.
So you definitely want to watch this because this was a note that I had on. This is the consistency of the show. You know how I already complained twice about 2 instances where security could have been used and there wasn't? Well, Suzuki went to just hit Josh Alexander with a chair like he always would. He always grabs a chair. And then a random security guard out of nowhere comes to like grab the chair from Minoru Suzuki's hand just so he can give him the young lion punch to the face. So he only existed as security for that spot. But so like I like that spot got in, but that was annoying. I think the spot would have been way cooler if security had tried to come out and break up Moose and Eddie earlier, or any of the other, you know what I mean? Like if you establish security as a thing, then it works better if they show up again. But
consistency.
Yeah.
When I was staying up to watch those New Japan shows, East Coast time, he would always wind up in the crowd at some point in time. Like his matches in the crowd for way longer than 20 seconds. Mm-hmm. And then he beats up a couple young lions while he's out there beating up whoever it is that he's wrestling out in the crowd for a good minute.
Dude, he'll do it on his entrance when the music is still playing. He'll just walk by and punch him. I'll send you guys some funny clips I have.
Very entertaining. That's the thing. New Japan, it's very entertaining, and even guys like Suzuki, it's silly, but it's still very, very serious. Like we were talking about Tai Chi. that one time. Very it's fun to watch. You can get into New Japan. It's different, but it still has its own merits, and it's entertaining in its own way.
Yeah, Frank can make all the jokes about New Japan he wants, but I'm sure he'd like it if he watched some of it. But it's a commitment though, because unlike every American promotion, they don't really have what you would call weekly TV. They basically just broadcast their events on the app, which it ends up looking like a lot of house shows, which they are. But the way I look at it is, it's just like if you have a sports team or whatever, and your team is playing like on Sunday, you know, if you're a New York Giants fan like Big Ray, poor guy, it's just like you don't really think about, oh well, did somebody attack Daniel Jones in the locker room beforehand? Because if I'm not invested in this, I'm not going to watch this football game. No, it's just it's a Giants game you're going to watch because it's Sunday and it's time to watch the Giants. Well, that's how I look at New Japan. They have a show, so it's time to watch New Japan. That's basically how I look at it. So, but I understand not everybody has that kind of time, especially with World Tag League lasting a month. It's Best of Super Juniors lasting a month. So it's a double-edged sword, because at the same time, it's the best way to acquaint yourself with the talent they have, because you see the G1 or you see World Tag League or you see Super Juniors, and it's like a round-robin tournament, so everybody has to face everybody in singles matches or tag team matches, which you don't normally get. It's usually like a lot of multi-man tags and stuff, and singles matches are special. But on these things, it's like, yeah, it takes place over the course of a month, but you really get a chance to see these guys' characters, and they get themselves over in the ring as characters with the matches, which is something that you're not going to get from, you know, WWE. You're not going to just get to watch somebody's match, and then you're still going to be looking at them after the match and be like, I don't understand what this character is. You know, what is his character? He takes a selfie? I don't know. Steals an egg? I don't know. So. Anyways,
I get Austin Theory. He puts his hand up and his friend gives him the high five.
If he had a friend
anymore,
a friend.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, I never thought I'd say this, but enough about New Japan. We have to get back to some foolishness, because Decay takes the Swingers Palace refugees and teleports them to. Are you ready for this, Colin? You ready for this?
Another Swingers Palace. Duke Hudson's place. Chase U.
If only.
That'd
be a good guess if I gave a fuck.
Brother loves set.
That'd be nice.
The Boiler Room. From the Mankind promo.
Brandon, do you want to tell them? You go ahead and tell them where they're going.
Wrestle House 2, Daddy.
Well, you know, I said we had an influence on this show, and it couldn't all be good. There had to have been some negative influences that we have had.
Or they could go here. I would have been okay with Disco Strip Club.
Right. I would say the number, but they changed it recently, and I haven't had it memorized yet. But yeah. So, yeah, we're going to get that now. We're going to get that. I can't say I'm too excited, but you guys both seem to be pretty pumped up. So
we're gonna get some fun, quality silliness here. That I know you don't like the silly.
Not that you'll watch it, Colin. But
oh no, I'll tune in for the Wrestle House.
Now he's gonna watch it.
That's tune in for the Wrestle House. I'm excited for some Wrestle House. I can watch clips of Wrestle House.
Okay, can watch clips of anything. All right.
I will not skip the 15. I will not hit the 15-second skip button when Wrestle House is on.
Well, let's hope you wouldn't have wanted to. Let's hope they. In fairness, I did not watch Wrestle House originally. I just saw when it was on enough of it that I said I better not ever see this whole thing. But now it looks like I'm going to. So. We'll see if they've changed up the formula.
This is the best news. This is better news than Doge Bonk going up right now as we speak.
Man. All right. So, well, that was the
hashtag Dobo.
Stop it. That was the episode of Impact leading up to Turning Point. It's anyone's guess as to how well that inspired people to want to go ahead and tune into this. But I tuned into it. I didn't really want to. I put it off to the last minute. And
You did.
And Colin,
really
you watched it. Brandon, did you watch this? This was broadcast on Impact Plus now. I thought you had Impact Plus, so I don't want to hear that you can tell by the look, that grimace on your face that perhaps you did not partake in the Turning Point.
Did not get a chance to, unfortunately.
See, you missed the better show. You chose to watch Impact Wrestling when the better show was out there. Brandon's showing his cleavage tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Frank is enjoying the show.
All right. Well, let's do this. Let's do this for a fun game. I don't know if he knows any of the results, but let's see if he can pick the winners of each of these matches.
I like this. I like this. Are we gonna do like a quick rapid fire rundown before we break this down?
No, we'll just go match by match, and then before we say who goes over, we'll, or we could ask Brandon before we talk about the match, who does he think went over, and if it's a different person, who would he have put over based on the television that he's been seeing leading up to this.
Sounds good. I like that.
Okay. I just thought of this right now.
Are we starting with the pre-show?
I didn't watch that. What was on it?
The Finjuice versus Rohit.
Versus Rohit and other guy?
And the other guy, Raj Singh. And then we had a digital media championship match. I mean...
Isn't Raj Singh work at WrestleLink? Is that...
No. Yeah, no, that's Raj Giri.
That's Raj Giri. Okay.
That's Raj Giri. Then we had a digital media championship, because I know Brandon would well, maybe we'll give Brandon this pre-show match here. Digital media championship match, Jordan Grace versus your girl, Chelsea Green. Brandon, who you think won this match?
Hey, I'm going to have to assume Jordan Grace. It's still, a new championship, need to establish it, and, you're not really going to do that if you're having a title change right off the get-go.
It's true. And she, Green got a huge reaction. So, maybe that title's not going to be on Grace too much longer, because people love some Chelsea Green.
Well, I can see it happening down the line.
Especially in Impact. We've got a lab rat with a moose sighting. We're not quite there yet. But we'll get there.
No, it's always okay to just say moose in the chat or any time. Yeah. So
if you just have moose, just blurt it out.
Yeah, just in case we're not thinking about moose for several seconds or minutes at a time, it's good to remind us that, moose.
If you're a fan of the Impact Attack here at Channel Attitude and the Hami Media Group YouTube channel, like most men think about sex every 8 seconds, you probably think about moose every 8 seconds.
Gia Miller was very hot this week. Yes, she was.
Spaceman loves some Gia Miller.
And it still bugs me that they completely ignore her and Ace Austin's relationship. Like, they act like completely like there's no interaction between them at all.
Well, maybe that's a good thing.
Well, speaking of that, we kick off the pay-per-view with
I beat Chris Sabin.
That's right.
Ace Austin, Madman Fulton versus Chris Sabin. Brandon, before we break it down, who won this match?
I'm going to assume Chris Sabin, just to kind of tie up this story. And I'm probably going to guess they probably got heat after the match. Or Ace Austin and Fulton.
And is that what you would have done?
That is what I would have done, yes.
Okay.
Would you have done anything more with the I Beat Chris Sabin shirt?
I'd burn it.
Okay, well, he didn't quite burn it. He changed the shirt. But we'll get to that. Vet, let's break down this match. Ace Austin started out here. This was a fun little match, with the exception of when Chris Sabin decided to just go all crazy and take out Madman Fulton. And, the commentary was trying to sell it like smart on Chris Sabin to take out Madman Fulton before he tries to go in and finish the job on Ace Austin, which, I mean, yeah, but you could also slow your momentum down, which he ended up doing. But he ended up eventually, he still got the win here. So was this a fun opening match, Vet? Was this a good opening match?
I guess I really wasn't into it. I wasn't into most of the show, to be honest. But I did. Here's the thing: the first thing I noticed was that Ace had like, instead of his usual cane that he had like some sort of like a curtain rod or something. Like he had to grab a fixture at the last
No, that's
second.
his normal one that he carries. It's the pop out one.
Is it?
Yeah, he always carries that pop out one.
It doesn't have
because he does his entrance where he makes it big and it pops up and he grabs it.
I don't know. It looked different to me. I thought his cane has like a head on it.
Mm-mm.
It does. I think so. Yeah.
No, but he normally carries out the pop up one.
Normally?
Yeah, for his entrance, he carries the pop out one.
I
don't think his pop out one has a head on it.
I think Mike carried the head one for his promos backstage.
Yeah, I think he has two different ones.
Well, I don't like it.
I've seen him use both.
I don't like it. I like the one that looks better than a curtain rod. Anyways, yeah. So he hits the cradle shock for the win, and Sabin does, and then he rips the shirt off of Ace. Now, did Ace go out and put the shirt on at some point during the match?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Right. He was gonna finish him. He was setting up for his finisher, and he put the shirt on to add extra emphasis and oomph to him hitting that finisher. You know, because I got to be wearing this "I beat Chris Sabin" shirt when I beat Chris Sabin.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, he does not, and then he gets the Chris Sabin rips the shirt off and takes it with him. I think I saw the Peanut Butter Falcon in the front row clapping, so he was very happy.
Very, very happy about that. Yeah. My friend Skrilla was one of the wrestlers in the Peanut Butter Falcon. It's a good movie. Definitely check out the Peanut Butter Falcon with Shia LaBeouf. It's a good little family watch. You'll enjoy it. That you don't have a family, okay? You wouldn't understand.
Mm-mm.
No, that you can be a part of my family.
No, thank you. Don't reach out to the screen either, like Joe Gacy. Don't do it. He did it.
Be one of my snowflakes. Bet
he did it.
It's a new movement. Bet the snowflake movement.
All right. So next was Violent by Design versus I don't know. I struggle to come up with a name for these guys. Cheese Whiz, I guess.
How dare you? How dare you? You skipped so much.
What do you mean?
We didn't have Violent by Design next.
We didn't?
No.
Are you positive?
I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure we had Rich Swann versus VSK.
No, that was after.
Was that okay? Well, then my my notes are like way off. Oh wow, my notes
because you don't have notes. You
my notes
read somebody else's notes.
They are my notes, sir. They don't even have VBD versus Rhino on here.
Holy shit! Yeah, well,
that's terrible.
That's even though you had a question for me about this match, the notes don't have the match.
You know why? It's because we're using someone that we vowed never to use again.
I never vowed to use anybody in the first place, so this is all you. Don't try to lump me into this.
I am on an Eric Beeston.
Oh no!
Bleacher Report.
Well, that's what you
Impact
fucking
Wrestling.
get.
Oh, that is terrible. Should I go to Wrestle Inc. and get the Impact Wrestling results?
We don't even need them. I have my own notes here.
Oh, I know you do, Vet.
So I can just, pitch to you. And I'll pitch to you that it's Violent by Design versus Cheese Whiz next, 100% for sure. And Eric Young's got his, he's in this match with Doring to take on Heath and Rhino. So what did you think of it? What was your question?
Well, first off, Brandon, who goes over here, Violent by Design or Rhino and Heath?
I would have to imagine. I think they probably put. I would have to guess they put Heath and Slater over, but I would have probably Violent by Design go over simply because they've been kind of taking beatings lately. If you want to keep them, looking at least dangerous and threatening, they gotta have some kind of victory, some kind of, Empire Strikes Back moment.
Would you have EY take the pin here?
No.
So you have the giant monster taking the pin.
Oh,
Well, no, you said they'd go over, but
I wouldn't
what
put
do
the Monster in that position.
well, there's only two positions for Heath and Rhino to go over on: Eric Young or the big monster.
Big monster, and unfortunately,
Or it could have been Cody or Diener.
well,
But he
Diener
wasn't in it though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
They only
Diener
picked
actually
two
gets
people.
ejected. Diener gets ejected during the match. Rhino and Heath go over with EY taking the pin.
That's your final answer. that's not what happened, but that is the final answer. In fact, Eric Young hits Rhino with the Casey Jones mask to pin him.
Nice.
Now, again, Colin, you had a question. This was just a regular tag match, by the way. I didn't think anything special about it. I don't even think they did it well. But you had a question.
So the beginning of the match, as soon as basically EY got in there with Rhino, Rhino's doing the quick hits, like the quick clotheslines, and then EY's getting up and he's hitting him with like the short fist, and EY's dropping down, and then he's hitting him up like the 3 or 4 flatbacks in a row, and then the get ups. How often is that like practiced in like training and school? Like, because it seems like that's something very common that you see. And I know in jiu-jitsu they teach us to get up and get down, because it is very tiresome to constantly drop a 200-pound body in yourself and then get it to get back up constantly, like over and over and over again. But is that something that, I'm sure that's trained a lot, right?
Well, different, obviously, training facilities have different methods that they like to train with. So, of course, you're going to learn your bumps, like, usually individually. Like, the types of bumps that you have to take, usually drill those. But you can develop your own, practice drills, So we had something called the comeback drill that was like a prolonged comeback. It included like the heat leading up to it and some keep alive spots, and then the comeback built and got more feverish. Like that was something that was practiced. It wasn't like always practiced, but sometimes Rip would take a man beast and somebody in there to go through the whole sequence and have everybody else watch it. It wasn't something that we all had to do. So that's one thing. But on the comebacks, in your general cookie cutter, like I've never met you, we've never had time to talk about our match or anything, but we have to go out there and have a 5-minute match type basic structure. The bump and feed is usually part of the comeback. And in tag matches, that's where after the hot tag, you would have the guy come in and start beating everybody up. Now, it doesn't really work in today's modern wrestling because guys like to just beat everybody up and then tag, and then it kills everything. But the idea being like whatever was done to you in throughout the entire heat portion of the match, you give the retribution back. So let's say, for example, that you, like, throughout the course of the match, this guy's beating you up. Let's say your back is hurt. He gives you a body slam. Ow, my back. He pins you. You kick out. He stomps on you. He picks you up, gives you a backbreaker, pins, kick out, stomps on you, throws you into a hard turnbuckle or two, and you sell your back, and stuff like that, right? So now during your comeback, you've got something that you can do. You can set, when you get a chance to come back, like you whip him into the turnbuckle, then you whip him into the other turnbuckle, and then maybe you whip him into a third turnbuckle because he gave you 2, but now you're giving him 3. You see what I'm saying? And there's a rhythm to that. It's like, whoa, like as you see the guy pulling him in and just throwing him into the buckle, whoa, bam, whoa, bam, whoa, bam, like that. Like there's like a rhythm to the comeback. And in the case of the bumps, like some guys just, most guys just do the lazy 3 clotheslines, right? So that's just, clothesline bump, clothesline bump, clothesline bump. Or you could do the short punches like you were saying that Rhino was doing and stuff like that. This is just your basic thing. So it's up to you whether you actually practice doing these individual things at whatever training that you're getting. But getting up and getting down just with bumps alone I mean, that in itself is usually a drill that you see guys do. I mean, how many times you see that on the, like in the footage you've seen of the performance center, where the trainees are like, they're doing like the shuttle run in place, and then they drop down and bump, get up, then go back to the shuttle run. Like, that's what's the difference, right? So everybody has their own way. I guess that's a long-winded way of saying, I don't fucking know. You know, go ask some wrestling trainer.
There is another thing that I've noticed is I guess Ben being OVW trained and you as well. You guys do the bam, like is that something too that is kind of practiced in training where it's like you're listening to the crowd reaction to before you hit your next, or is that whoa, is that part of the timing that you guys
it's
put
part
into...
it's part of the timing. It's what the fans will do along with you, or at least how it appears to them rhythmically in their mind as they're seeing it. You know what I mean? There's different rhythms.
Like the 10 punch thing where it's always you take the guy up to the ropes and it's
1, 2, 3. And like, you know, we talked about running ropes, right? 1, 2, 3 hit, 1, 2, 3 hit. Like there's the rhythm of that. Like when you take the certain strides, the size of your strides, depending on the length of the ring. There's rhythm in all of those things. And that's why sometimes if you're not aware that some of these things are done with a particular rhythm, and a lot of people aren't. See already, like just going back to the, but yeah. So like if you see, if you see these things happening, you may not realize that it's done a certain way, but it may feel off to you if somebody does it a different way. Like a lot of times I'll see people come in, they'll get a hot tag, and then they'll hit the guy one time, and then it just kind of shuts everything down, and then they just start going into some other weird thing, or they get cut off during their own comeback or something like that. Like how many times do you see that, Brandon, where some guy will come in, hit one move, and then like the other partner will come in and just like cut the guy off again and just like completely interrupt the flow of it. Like there's flows you don't realize subconsciously as a fan, but and not everybody teaches them, and not everybody explains it in that way. Rip Rogers explains the rhythm thing. I've never heard anybody else say it. I'm not saying that they don't, but I don't really hear a lot of trainers talk about that, like in terms of the rhythm of how the comebacks and things like that play out.
And I can't tell you how many times, like during training, where it was like, oh, now I get why that's like that. Oh, that makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay, awesome. No, that answered my question. There is those little intricacies that you, the viewer, don't get to see at home, that these guys kind of learn in the training school, in the sessions, like the little trips, tricks of the trade, so to speak.
And again, those are like, they're not universal. If you weren't trained by certain people, there's certain things you just won't ever know. And that's one of the things I fear as time goes on, that, you know, you've got these guys that are out there that either ignore this stuff or never knew it in the first place. And those will be the ones training the future guys. And then in another 15, 20 years, all wrestling is going to be is guys just like immediately doing topes as soon as the bell rings. So like, I fear
up tope.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a Teddy Hart match. So
you can't lose those basic fundamentals. You can't
lock up 450 splash off the top.
Bro, no kidding. I saw it. I was in the building. I saw him. I saw him get into he was moonsaulting a guy within 10 seconds of the bell ringing. I didn't even know how it was possible. But yeah.
How my moonsault look? Hey, how my moonsault look?
Yeah.
1-2 moonsault. Whoa. 450 splash. Whoa.
Whoa.
Tope suicida.
Right. That's pretty much it. So next up is Gia, who's looking smoking hot, Canada Spaceman. Interviewing Eddie, who Eddie thinks he'll win.
He's looking super hungry.
Yeah. So Eddie thinks
I don't know whether he's hungry for moose or just hungry for catering, but Eddie's looking super hungry in this promo bit.
I agree. I'll agree. Do you okay, now, Brandon, do you think on this promo that Eddie got something to eat or not?
He probably got something to eat. I mean,
Well, he
hanging
didn't.
out backstage.
You
He
were
did
wrong.
not get something
He did
to
not.
eat.
Not during
did not
the
eat a
promo.
donut over a trash can.
Yeah, he did. He may have done it off camera, but he did not do it here.
Oh wait, it was not Tommy Dreamer. Sorry.
I think Big Ray
exactly.
watched the wrong.
Well, he wants to
Big Ray watched the wrong turning point. Apparently, Jeff Jarrett needs to stop aces and eights. We're in 2021. Impact TNA Wrestling. Big Ray.
All right. So now, after Eddie's fast, 5-minute fast, we get VSK standing in for Brian Myers for whatever reason. Want to read that for the people, Colin?
Says Eddie definitely isn't sharing food with that 80-pound wife.
Yeah, Frank, we agree.
Remember the joke is always get Angelina Love needs a sandwich.
Yeah, man. Well, Angelina, she's ripped, and Alicia's just. It looks like she's heroin for breakfast. Sorry, it just does. So VSK standing in for Myers against Rich Swann. I don't know if this was a shoot reason or if they just didn't want Brian Myers on this pay-per-view, which is totally understandable. But you wouldn't. This is not equal or greater value. This is actually somehow lesser value than Brian Myers to have VSK in it. I think you probably could have left this match off without disappointing a single person other than the guys who were involved in the match. Even Rich Swann might have rather had the night off than have to have a match with VSK. And about 6 minutes later, the undoubted outcome comes out, which is, Brandon, who would you put over here? Between Rich Swann and VSK. Rich Swann, former Impact champion.
Yeah, Swann.
Okay.
Yeah, way more upside than Swann.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. Well, that is what happened.
Yep.
Good.
No,
I fast forwarded this whole match.
Couldn't blame you.
Once I saw VSK come out, and as much as I love Rich Swann and Willie Mack, like I enjoy some Willie Mack, I had to fast forward through this because I just can't. VSK was going to put me to sleep.
He was. Even if you had just woken up from a nap, you might find yourself drifting back off here.
Yeah, to be fair, just hearing about it kind of started putting me to sleep a little bit.
Well, yeah, yeah.
So
the chat thought you were asleep anyways when he started talking about VSK, Brandon.
Yeah, dude. This is one of those instances where you had no reason to have a show this long, and you had this match, even though the whole thing was only about 8 minutes with entrances.
I was gonna make a joke about she was just trying to turn him into an undead bride. She was just, give me your soul, Rich.
Yeah,
No,
Frank says, didn't Swann's girlfriend beat him up, referring to Su Yung. So, yeah, dude. This definitely could have. This is 8 minutes that we could have just completely left off, and you had something for TV. Like, this is something that the WWE, everybody, AEW, everybody needs to learn. Okay, because I'm seeing it. That Buckshot Kid says replace VSK with Big Ray. That not a bad idea. I'm sure Big Ray's a more entertaining worker than VSK.
He's better on the mic than VSK.
Yeah, 100%.
Is,
But anyway, seriously,
I don't know.
Stop putting up chat stuff for 5 seconds so I can just make my point here. There are things that don't belong on pay-per-view. There just don't. And you have, every time you watch somebody's TV show, their weekly TV show, you're saying, you guys are clearly trying to fill time here with filler. And that's why every angle does not have to culminate on pay-per-view. Some things can be for TV. You can build things for TV, and you can use those things as a lead-in to a pay-per-view show or something. Like for example, AEW had a couple of matches on Full Gear that could have been main events for Dynamite or Rampage instead of just being in the middle of a fucking long-ass show. Like, they should never have had that, Minnesota street fight or whatever on pay-per-view. Or that 6-man bullshit thing that they had on there. That should never have been on pay-per-view. Those should have been TV matches. All they do is make the show longer. And there's matches like this. with VSK and Rich Swann, which is an angle that was, the injury angle for Soda Thompson starting on BTI of all things. Like, you could make this a BTI only angle for all that. That's
Nobody's
worth.
watching that bit.
I know. And nobody's going to want to watch this either. So what's the difference? That's my point. Like, you're never going to get people to watch shit if you don't give them any, if the stuff that you're trying to push, you just stick it in the middle of the rest of a show.
You need a merch line match and a bathroom break match.
No, that's what these packages are for. That's what these commercials are for. That's just the shop impact trading card sets and things like that's where you.
I mean, I hope I get a VSK in my trading card set that I bought.
Ooh, autograph.
A rookie VSK.
Autograph VSK.
Yeah.
It
actually makes the value go down. Like, oh, you got ink on the paper. Ugh. Yeah. So.
He touched this card. No.
Yeah, this is gross. So speaking of recaps, we get some leading to Cardona versus Morrissey. Now, Brandon, this is Matt Cardona versus W. Morrissey. Who would win here, and who do you think they had win?
I would have Morrissey go over, and I think they probably had Cardona. Actually, I think they might have had Morrissey go over.
You are correct. Ding, ding, ding. This man wins a chicken dinner.
That's right,
ladies and gentlemen. Morrissey.
Don't share any with Alicia.
You keep it all to yourself.
That's right.
I don't have a Rob ding 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 button, but we do have this. Whenever you get it right, you can get the Pillsbury.
That's pretty good too.
Actually, that was Diet Sunkissed.
And if you get it wrong, you get the
Actually, that should be the get it right.
To get it right one. Okay, we'll go with that one.
Now, did you actually watch this one, Colin, or was this a victim of the 15-second skit?
No, I watched this one because I like. Well, for one, when this match first started, Cardona looks almost as tall as Morrissey, or it could have just been camera angles, the way they had it. But Cardona was looking like a monster too. Morrissey, I'm loving this new anger, this bad side. The dude looks like $1 million. Like Vince would see him now and be like, I cut that guy. Like the way he was in WWE, it's like he's a whole different person with this Morrissey character that he's got now. And I do enjoy the violence that we get from Morrissey. We will talk Wrestle House when Wrestle House 2 begins later on in the year, Mr. Big Ray Hernandez. There is a Wrestle House 2 on the horizon.
So what they did here in this match that was interesting is they continued the thing with Moose and Morrissey, where Moose came in and screwed Matt Cardona, and then D'Lo got very up in arms about this and started yelling, "What the hell is Moose doing here? Damn you, Moose!" You know, like D'Lo does.
He was also drinking PBR.
Well, I have that. Don't spoil it.
No.
It's too late. You spoiled it. It's a cat's out of the bag. You ruined everything. You got to give me some credit. Like, I actually do take the notes here. And
I get that, but
notes,
I'm wondering if some of D'Lo's commentary tonight, or from the pay-per-view, came from him having a couple of Pabsts while doing the show.
No, he always does the "damn you, Moose" thing. Whenever Moose does something damnable.
No, I'm just saying in general though. Like,
well,
I think he's getting a little sauced on the show.
Yeah, I'll explain it when we get to it, which is a little down the line here. But next in line is Inspiration versus Decay. Brandon, who wins and who did win?
Well, let me tell. Can I tell him that the Inspiration did come out in Harlem Heat themed gear, if that changes anything. Okay.
Nice, very nice.
Oh, well, and Decay had a little bit of a change too. Havoc did something to her hair. You'd have to see it though. But go on. I digress.
I'm going to say Inspiration on both. It would make, because again, it's early into their reign, and need to establish them, and it would kind of could work into an angle into Wrestle House where word comes back and they end up getting the belts after that.
I see. All right. Good decisions, because yes, that is correct. That is what happens. Inspiration wins. They got heat on Havoc, which is a weird choice. Usually you get heat on the smaller person if you can. But I understand if they want to do something different. The only problem is, what I say earlier, Havoc just beats both the girls up and makes a tag. And it's like, what was Rosemary supposed to do? You just squished both of these girls right beforehand. So that's where that rhythm comes in. And Rosemary's comeback that she does do when she gets in there is kind of lame. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a Rosemary fan, but I'm going to call this comeback lame. This whole match was a little bit lame. And after that, they even tried to work like the false tag where, they tag, like Havoc makes a tag, but the ref doesn't see it type deal, and has to put Rosemary back out. But yeah, so it took a little long after the hot tag for them to go home. Like, I think it lasted like a few minutes longer than it needed to, but Inspiration did win. Colin, did I miss anything? Or
the finish? They had a little bit of a schmoz to the finish there, where one of the girls distracted the ref while the other one, I think she kicked her or kneed her. What did she do to her when she was?
She did something, and they folded. They impressively folded Havoc over herself, and the person on the outside was like holding her hands to hold her to make sure that she held Havoc down.
Yeah,
I think if I remember correctly.
Smaj finish, but we're probably going to get a lot of that from the Inspiration, because, like Vet said, I mean, Havoc would eat both of those girls for a snack before having dinner with Eddie Edwards.
All right. Now, just to clear up any confusion, sometimes a schmoz means usually that a bunch of people run in that have nothing to do with it. So just to clear up any confusion of that, it wasn't like a bunch of people ran out and did this. It was just shenanigans, I guess.
Shenanigans, yeah.
I think that's what you want to.
Some not a clean
chicanery,
chicanery,
tomfoolery.
A dirty finish.
Skylarking good.
Someone thought it'd be a good idea. Okay. So next is Gia, still smoking hot because she hasn't done anything different since the last time we saw her. And she has Sabin with her, and he unveils his modified t-shirt that he stole from there we go.
It's an old comment. I was just putting it back up.
Right. Yeah, it's important to so he's got a modified shirt. Now it's the I Beat Chris Sabin shirt with one important difference, Colin. Did you 15-second fast forward the difference? Yes.
No, I watched this because I was like, what the hell is Chris Sabin doing out here? Oh my God, he's got the shirt. Let me watch this promo for a second. So I got to see read my shirt, Gia. I am Chris Sabin. I am Chris Sabin. And then stupid pose.
Yeah, stupid pose. He just stuck a piece of masking tape over the beat part and wrote "am" in Sharpie. So
new shirt, Impact Wrestling, ProWrestlingTees.com, right. Chris Sabin.
That's right. They're gonna do it. Next is the X Division 3-way match for the championship with Trey Miguel and Burt
Kid
Macklin
Laredo and Trey Miguel. Who you got, Brandon?
I'm going to go Trey on all counts. I mean, but he's still, again, relatively new, fresh. You need to keep establishing the title or his run and set up, at least a heel that you can actually build around if you're going to take it off him. And Macklin ain't the guy, and Laredo's just there for just an extra body to bounce off of.
If you're going to have a finish for this match, how would you book this finish?
I would have Trey go over Macklin clean because that's what they were setting up. That's the story they're telling.
So you. You're incorrect, sir. You were
Ooh.
correct about Trey Miguel winning. All right, let me give you the Berserker. I'm going to give you an incorrect for the way this match was finished. Now, Vet, break down the match for us, and then as we get to the finish, because this was more shenanigans involved in the finish of this. Look, Vet can't even. Vet, do you just want to talk about the finish of this match?
Well, you said break it down, and to the degree that I want to break it down is just, I have a note that just says these guys started with some stuff they probably shouldn't have been doing.
Tope suicidas as soon as the bell rang, and it was
Other-
Burt Macklin.
Yeah, other stuff too. Like, there was this one weird spot where, like, he had a guy, like, one of the guys was in the electric chair, and I think it was Trey Miguel tried to do, like, a 619 to the
Hurricane Rana.
outside to grab him off the guy's shoulders and give him a thing, but he did the 619 and Burt was too far away, so he just walked up to Trey Miguel standing on the apron and he did him.
That was the weirdest. It was the weirdest breakdown. Like, seriously, go back and watch this, Brandon. It was like they even said it, like, he puts Laredo Kid in the electric chair position, which Laredo Kid had just like tried to go outside and do like a high risk move, and like Macklin catches him or whatever. So now it's like, oh, they're setting up for something, right? Miguel gets this full run up. He does like the 619, like Vet's saying, completely misses him. But while he's out there, he like still like props his hand up. And then Macklin moves into position and he throws his legs over Laredo Kid. And then like Hurricane Rana's both of them like over, and Macklin just kind of awkwardly falls over with Laredo Kid on top of his shoulders to like finish the Hurricane Rana. It was jumbled mess. Like,
and there was another spot I already forgot where they messed up some stuff. They were trying to do way too much at the beginning of this, trying to do like one of those weird, like martial arts movie choreography things with their wrestling moves, like just to start the match off, and it just didn't. It wasn't there. It just wasn't there.
And then the match. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to say that Big Ray says that term 619 is intellectual property of WWE. Okay, excuse me. Tiger feint kick. He tried a tiger feint kick. Sorry. Apologize to everybody.
Well, the finish here.
I also want to say that Sonic the Hedgehog says, "Wait a minute, who is this person they are talking too much to be Brandon?"
He's the reanimated version from Canada Space Man.
That's the idea. We want to
bringing him back to life.
Yeah, we want to involve Brandon.
There you go. There you go.
All right, he's an undead bride now.
He is an undead bride now. Brandon, this match ended with Trey Miguel hitting the Meteora on Burt Macklin after Macklin hit his finisher on Laredo Kid. He proceeds to pin both men right at the same time, pulls both their legs up, and as the ref is counting the 1, the 2, and the 3, Macklin kicks out.
Oh.
But Laredo Kid still is pinned. So there's like this confusion, but you only have to pin one person in the match to win. So I don't know why there's any confusion. And then you got Macklin over in the corner like, no, but I kicked out. Like I kicked out. And
that's WWE
still,
overselling is
still
what that
looking
is.
confused. So they didn't put a bow tie on this Macklin Trey Miguel feud. It seems like it's going to continue, and it's going to continue because you didn't finish me. I kicked out. You know,
I hope
kicked out of the Meteora.
Right,
I hope
which they both kept, like they already put that over, just yelling to each other off mic in the arena.
Yeah, I hope they have something creative that's enough to keep this going. I don't think they will.
If the finish of this match was the creative going into this the storyline's probably doomed from the inception. And I think we like Burt Macklin.
They should have wrapped it up on this match.
No, Vet does not like Burt.
I do not. I'd never. No, absolutely not. Release this man.
Release Burt Macklin.
You release Petey Williams. Well, I could do a lot more with him than I can with this guy, but anyways, yeah, you're right. All the creativity was spent coming up with this idea for a finish. But yeah, and even the announcers were saying like, I think Trey Miguel this is the least I've ever seen a person happy to get a win, because he's mad that he didn't, or disappointed that he didn't pin Burt Macklin like he said he was going to. So, yeah. But we'll just see where they go with that. Next is the Knockouts Championship match with Mercedes Martinez versus Mickie James. That's a lot of M's there. But it's a match. Colin, do you have anything to...
Mercedes Martinez, the ultimate jobber in these situations that you need. She's great enhancement talent. But she put on a good performance for Mickie James. Made Mickie James look like $1 million. Now, there was something that I noticed at the end of the match there, Vet, and this is another one of those wrestling things that you can kind of fill me in on. After the pin, right? So she gets the pin on Mercedes Martinez, and she's still kind of laying on Mercedes Martinez a little bit, right? And you see Martinez take her hand that's on the opposite side of her body and finish pushing Mickie James off of her. Like, get the fuck off me, bitch. Like, so I don't know if there's any animosity between the two, or if it's one of those things where, like, you just don't want this person laying on top of you like that. But Mercedes looked a little uncomfortable with how Mickie had pinned her there in the finish and everything, too. So,
Well, I can't say I really noticed that because, let's face it, I was barely paying attention to most of this. But that could just be you being in the moment of what your character would do. Like, the character of Mercedes Martinez wouldn't want somebody laying on her. So
well, she's laid out and just took the pin. So she's supposed to just kind of be like, and as Mickey's like laying on her, she's just kind of like,
yeah. But well, if you put it that way, then. But again, that's something that could really happen if this was all real. So, I mean, maybe it's that. I don't think I don't think there's any animosity between them, but you never know. Stuff can happen in an instant. It could have happened during the match. But
after this match, we had a little bit of a run-in from our former Impact Knockouts champion, Deonna Purrazzo. She hits the ring, takes out a little Mickie James, and says that she will see her at Hard to Kill. Proceeds to throw down the title top of Mickie James. Now, Vet, did you have anything else on this Mickie James Mercedes Martinez match?
No, not really.
Did we even ask Brandon who would win this match?
We forgot.
Brandon, who would win this match, Mickie James or Mercedes Martinez?
I would have thought maybe Martinez kind of set up something different because Mickie kind of seemed more like a kind of transitory champion, at least in my opinion. But I guess they're going to keep going with the Deonna angle.
Yeah, I like it. Deanna's going to get her prize, but her precious.
So next we have Gia, and she's got Scott D'Amore there. And then he announces that there's going to be a Knockouts Ultimate X match.
It's going to be terrible.
So if you like watching these girls trip over their own feet and barely be coordinated in regular matches, wait till you see them have to, shimmy across, suspended ropes and things. It's going to be a happening.
Match. Jordan Grace and/or Havoc in that match.
Oh yes, the whole thing just comes. The whole scaffolding just comes falling down.
And Kimberly.
Oh man, that's too much poundage. They're gonna have to reinforce the ring. Yeah.
Reinforce the. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Scott D'Amore, for bringing back a match.
Yes, that's right. Then we get the Tag Team Championship match, which the much ballyhooed Good Brothers versus Bullet Club Championship match,
fest.
Which is Chris Bay and Hikuleo, because Phantasmo's already been in Japan for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. Here is where I turned on the timer. I was like, okay, I'm going to see how many headlocks or chin locks, that Luke Gallows puts on during this match. And as a rib on me personally, I think they knew that I was going to do this because this is 7 minutes, 44 seconds long. The only headlock even in the match was from Chris Bay. Yeah, we were robbed But then again, we weren't robbed because if this is how
we
they
got a chin lock. Hikuleo put Carl Anderson in a chin lock within like the first like minute or two of the match.
I don't recall that, but even so, it still was not from Luke Gallows. It was.
But remember, we said that this match was kind of like a rib, like the previous match with Hikuleo versus Gallows. This could have still just been a rib of a match here between these guys.
Yeah. And Canada Spaceman wants to know what my issue is with the Good Brothers, but I mean,
where'd they touch you, Vet?
What isn't my issue with the Good Brothers? I'm tired of their fucking act. They're boring to me. Just like everybody that you think is boring to you. I can't explain why the Good Brothers make me just want to stop watching wrestling altogether, but they just do. You know, you don't have to agree with me. It is a personal thing. I can understand why some people might like them, but they're probably just not. They probably don't watch as much wrestling as I do, so they're probably not tired of them yet.
Everybody 3 count 1, 2, 3.
But are you sure it's not because you got snubbed as an extra on Talking Shop-A-Mania?
I would never go on Talking Shop. Not if they paid me. I'd be like, hey, here's all the people you know, and this other random guy that you don't, that he don't want to be here. I don't see that happening. So yeah, as long as this match is short, I'm good. I don't.
It was.
I'm fine with that. It would have been the shortest match except for that VSK and Rich Swann match, but it's close enough. So, there it is.
Out.
Sonic the Hedgehog just comes out and says it. Good Brothers are idiots. All right. Now, granted, just typing that, in his mind, there could be nuance to that. Like, he could be saying, like, man, Good Brothers are idiots. Like, haha, very, funny, goofy guys, whatever. But no, I just take it literally. I'm just like, no, you guys are idiots. Now here's the part where, after the match, D'Lo tries to open a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
He's had one too many.
Right, and Stryker stops him from opening it. So yeah, it's either he's stopping him from having a first beer or stopping him from having another beer. But I guess AEW, Sonic meant it literally. I guess AEW never picked up the phone when Pabst called him after that Pizza Hut fiasco. So they're here in Impact now, which is that kind of fits.
I wonder if it's a
worst wrestling company, worst beer. So it's perfect.
I wonder if it's a Tony Khan thing where they can't really have Pabst because of the stadium rights and things that they have to serve out of the stadium when they're down in filming in Jacksonville and stuff like that. So they're contractually obligated to be like a Bud Light or a Miller Lite type of thing. So they can't. I don't know. It could be. It could be the other way around. I think Vet said, or not Vet, Big Ray in the chat said he likes the Fat Ric Flair ripoff. I think he's talking about Zicky Dice that came out with VSK earlier in the show. Vet, what we got next?
Next is Josh Alexander walking out, and he is angry.
Very angry.
Josh Alexander is angry. He's letting you know how angry he is, and he used the word angry several times. He's not as angry as I was when I saw the runtime for this show, but pretty angry nonetheless.
Not as angry as Toho was when this surprise guest tried to put Godzilla on his tights.
That's right. That's right, because here is Jonah.
Jonah Rock.
Just Jonah. Jonah.
No. Oh, he didn't go with the Rock? He's not going Jonah Rock for his indie name?
Just Jonah. Just Jonah.
Just Jonah?
No Rock, no Whale, no anything. Just regular Jonah. And he attacks Josh, and he lays on him a few times, and then he throws security around. So security came out for this, to break up the two able-bodied men fighting. Yep. There were more guards, but Jonah dispatched those guards, and then Josh is doing the internal bleeding gimmick, and then he does one more. He lays on him one more time from the top rope, and so yeah, this is a big sort of debut for Jonah, who showed up at New Japan Battle in the Valley this past weekend. and made his who did he attack there? It was somebody. He attacked somebody.
Was it
I
Moose?
forget.
No.
And then so he'll be working with I think he signed to New Japan and Impact, but I don't know if that extends to just he's going to stick around in the States and not make the trip overseas and be the part of the New Japan Strong show. Yeah. So there was that. Are you guys excited now that this guy that I saw no value in when he was in NXT is now back on our television screens to get in our way?
Having destroyed the former champion and potential number one contender for the championship.
Yeah.
So they're gonna push Alexander really like far down the card to have him come like built back up.
Yeah,
whenever he takes Moose on, right? Is that what's about to happen here, Vet? Brandon?
that's exactly what this looks like. Is the whole you got the title, now you ripped it from me, we're knocking you back down, build you back up.
It's gonna be a hard fall for Josh Alexander here. Oh man.
Well, it's better. Look at it this way. He could have been having a program with Burt Macklin. So at least we're not getting that. He did give up his title, but he also gave up a chance to have to work with fucking Burt Macklin. So I think I think this Jonah is Colin. He's just sort of following us around. Like he was on our NXT review show, and then we thought we escaped, and now he's back. And
that I have to tell you.
Okay.
He's one of my snowflakes.
Oh jeez. No. Oh no. Oh man. Oh. Well, anyway. Can't cry forever.
Next segment.
Yeah, now we're gonna cry. Full Metal Mayhem, your main event. When I saw the time remaining on this show, I thought, oh man, there must have some sort of after match thing planned. There's no way this is gonna go 40 some minutes. Well, hold my Pabst Blue Ribbon, said Moose and Eddie. Because goddamn, here we go. Before I say anything, because I have a lot, Colin, or before even Colin, Brandon, who wins this match?
I've got them ready.
And who should have won?
Moose on both counts, because again, it's Moose. This is your guy. You need to build him. You need to have him run through guys until your baby face that you're putting over is ready.
Right. All right. Well,
destruction. I mean, this match was a very hard hitting match.
Yes. Any other things you want to say about it, Colin? Because how many times did you hit the 15-second button
on this match? A good bit. It was. I mean, it's a hardcore match. We've seen a million hardcore matches over and over again. I did kind of watch as Eddie wrapped his knee up in a steel. Is that the thing now? Like,
I'll cover that stuff.
No, I know, but is that the thing now? Because we saw this in AEW. I think we saw this in NXT.
The thumbtack
Kyle
knee
O'Reilly.
pads.
No, Kyle O'Reilly wrapping his knee up to finish Adam Cole.
He did that. But then the Bucks had thumbtacks in their knee pads.
In their shoes or whatever. Like, is this the new thing now? Like, we're just gonna make our bodies the weapons with the chains and things like this, like, because they don't have anything fresh for these hardcore matches anymore, really.
Yeah, I think so. But I have a solution for that. You make it fresh by not having so many damn hardcore matches, because it's just lazy. It's like you need a reason to do all the shit that you want to do in this match, or that you can even think of potentially within this match. But you know that if this was under normal circumstances, there'd be no reason for this stuff to be going on. So you have to say it's a no disqualification match or a street fight or something, so that you can get all your shit in without the referee saying, hey, what the hell? Like, anybody thinks about the referee or pays attention to them, or they have any authority anyways.
Unless it's Ref Aubrey. She's the greatest ref.
So that's all I got to say about that.
Can't even troll vet with that. He's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So let me just break this down from the top. Okay. And I would almost never say this about a Moose match, but Brandon, just be glad you missed it.
Oof.
So Eddie comes out dressed for a street fight. I mean, he kind of always has that same gear on anyways, but knowing what's coming.
The Tommy Dreamer of Impact Wrestling.
Oh, we'll get to that. And Moose comes out basically naked, as he always does. So you never know what could happen in this match where anything could happen, but he's going to make sure he has the least amount of clothes and protective gear possible. So the match starts with a hockey fight, and then it turns into forearm trading, and then it turns into chop trading. So they did this completely backwards. They're building it down. They're tapering it off. Moose is chopping a guy with a shirt in a match without rules. So let that sink in for a minute and really digest and process what I'm saying here when I say that. Like, I know these guys like Japan, but this is not the time or the place to be doing these kind of fighting spirit spots in this match. Then Moose gets backdrop through a table. I don't think we're 5 minutes in yet. Moose takes a table backdrop. Okay. And from there, from the backdrop through the table, we get to the old cookie sheets. Some good old cookie sheets. Everybody loves a cookie sheet, right? There's so much devastating, cookies and everything, hitting guys and things. Eddie gives Moose a Death Valley driver on the apron. Just no. If you saw this, did you see this one, Colin, or did you skip it?
I think I might have skipped the Death Valley driver on the side. This
was one of the worst things I've seen. The kind where when you're as a worker, a former worker, when you put yourself in the shoes of the guys that you're seeing, and you're just like, oh no, thank you, absolutely not. There's no reason for this, especially considering it's this early in the match and you've got so much more that you're going to do that's bullshit anyways. Why waste it? Why even risk it? And
again, that's a stretcher spot.
Mm-hmm. They erect like some sort of a ladder monument just to sunset bomb Moose onto it. As Colin mentioned,
I was very surprised Moose didn't just hop up like Leo Rush did.
Right
after that sunset powerbomb.
He's not as strong as Leo Rush. Eddie tapes a chain to his knee pad, as you were saying, which just
I didn't think it was going to work.
Ridiculous.
I'm sorry. He sat over in the corner and pulled out this roll of tape, and I'm like, he's going to be over there for a good 10 minutes trying to get this thing taped to his knee. Like it was.
Don't worry about what Eddie's going to take 10 minutes trying to do, because we'll get to that in a second.
They cut away, and then they cut back, and it's like perfectly taped. That did not.
So let's look at this one instance here. He's using tape to hold a chain around his knee pad. So, question, why is he wearing knee pads?
So it doesn't hurt his knee whenever the
So then why not wear the skater's knee pads that have the hard plastic or metal shell on the outside?
Because then that would be bringing a weapon to the ring.
In a Full Metal Mayhem match.
Yes.
Well, it's not metal, it's plastic.
Exactly.
Full plastic mayhem.
You can't have plastic things, okay? They won't let you.
Those tables weren't all metal.
They were wood.
So,
and metal.
Well, whatever it is, you could gimmick it beforehand if you want to have a knee pad thing, but instead you just look like an idiot taping a fucking chain to it. Oh man. Let me just here come the fucking kendo sticks again, and I'm just like, this is horrible. You're having a kendo stick duel. Like this is worse than this is the worst thing I've seen.
Eddie's got to get his kendo spots in though.
It was so bad.
Kenny is gonna get over on Impact Wrestling.
He's not over. He's he's even Morrissey has had enough of this in the back watching it, and he has to come out and put a stop to it and try to help. But then Cardona comes out after him and attacks him, and then they fight off up the ramp. So no more interference from those guys.
I wish Teddy Long would have come out here and turn this championship match into a tag team match.
To a tag team match with
winner gets the belt.
Yeah, for Eddie's belt.
And the Undertaker.
Undertaker would never.
No,
I thought that cinematic match with AJ Styles was corny, but this Moose just kicks out of stuff. Like, he just starts kicking out of stuff. And I was thinking at this point, like, well, Eddie should just try a roll up. I mean, that's certainly going to beat Moose. Chris Sabin proved it, and it would be a perfect ending to this, where you started out with table bumps and stuff and work your way up to a roll up. You know, like, I thought that would have been the perfect finish. Didn't go there though. He
chops him for the finish.
They topped my idea. They did even better than I could have imagined. So the show was like 3 hours, or maybe a little under. And most of that 3 hours was Eddie trying to expose the wood in the ring. I mean, he took out this pair of scissors, which, why are you cutting the little, the rope that ties the canvas down, Brandon? Yeah. Right? And he starts cutting those. It's like, why don't you get in there and stab Moose with the scissors? What the fuck are you doing, man? Like, what is this? What are we doing? Scissors are metal.
Has to pay to get that fixed, because now you've just destroyed the ring.
Right.
I'm sure that's not I'm sure that's not cheap. Having to get that sewn back on and all that stuff, right?
Right. So this takes an inordinate amount of time, and it starts to get embarrassing. And the camera wants to cut away, but there's nowhere to cut away to. So it's like they're trying to the production truck is trying to figure out how to handle the fact that Eddie is taking 20 minutes to undo the ring crew's work here, and he's like, finally he gets in there and pulls the pad off. And exposes the wood, and then they tease a couple of things, and then Moose slams Eddie on the wood with the rock bottom type move that he does, and that's not even the finish. So, like, you spent all this time. Okay, he hits a spear for the finish, and that's the finish. Yes, the spear.
Should they have done during the Morrissey spot, right, where Morrissey tries to come down and while all this distraction is going on, is that when Eddie should have, like, they done the board thing? Is that a better time to kind of work that in so that, you're not necessarily having to catch that on camera?
No, because Eddie was attacked by Morrissey directly. So how the hell would he have?
I was thinking maybe you book it a little differently so that you have kind of Morrissey come down, but Cardona gets there in time, and then you kind of give Eddie a chance to go over there and do what he's got to do to the ring so that it's, like, not on camera per se.
No. The issue is not the idea of it, other than, yes, it is the idea of it completely. The whole idea of this match, they never should have done any of this. But if you were thinking about it, there's no way you were going to know how long it was going to take you. You're not going to practice cutting the ring apron tie downs and see how long it takes. You're not going to get out there and just see. You're not going to know how awkward and long it's going to be, because you don't practice that part. You just come up with the idea, like, I'll expose the wood. Like, you're sitting in the back, coming up with your match, putting your spots together and stuff, and then be like, okay, and then I'll cut the mat open and I'll pull the thing, I'll expose the thing, and that's it. And then you go out there and actually do it, and it starts to get really awkward.
No, it definitely got awkward. Even the taping of the knee thing, it was like, oh, yes, this is about to be, like, really dumb. Like, what are they about to do here? And I have two of those spots in this match where it's kind of like, all right, now we're trying to put too much.
Yeah,
trying to do too much.
Right. All this for the wood that's not the finish.
Yeah, because you just needed that Uranagi with the way that he threw Eddie Edwards down the first time with that Uranagi slam. Like, he just picked him up. The Rock drops guys and falls with him. Moose straight up just picked him up and threw Eddie down like he was nothing. And I think if the boards were exposed for that first one, it should have been over. Especially if he gave him a second one on top of the boards. Like, I don't need to spear you. Like, I threw you down with so much force that.
Right. Would anybody have said, "Oh man, I can't believe you beat him with that. He should have hit him with the spear."
Can't
Like
believe you
no one
didn't
would have
spear
said
him.
that. Yeah, no.
I
Well,
paid
first
my
of all,
tickets to your spear.
first of all, we've already explained when we talked about way back when we were talking about the Gargano and Ciampa did this, and the whole wood spot. It's like, you guys, concrete is available. It's right there next to the ring. You pull that pad up, and all you have to do is pull the pad up. You don't have to cut anything. You don't have to do any of that. Just boom, pull the pad up. Bam, you got something way harder and more devastating than wood. Because the wood still has all the give that it has when you're in the ring, right?
Yeah,
Concrete's
but I
on the
think it's a
ground.
visual thing for fans.
I
Because
don't care. I don't fuck the fans. I don't care what the visual thing is, because it still looks stupid, and the average person is going to say, "Why wood when there's concrete right there?" And we've seen wrestlers use concrete.
Yeah. Yeah,
Who
but
thinks wood is stronger than concrete?
the Attitude Era pretty much ruined the use of everybody in the mid 90s, mid late 90s of wrestling. Everybody was going outside and pulling the padding up off the floor and slamming guys on concrete. A lot of
Right.
people that, as someone who is a fan, right? I'm not as entrenched in the world of wrestling as you are. As someone who is a fan, we don't know what the fuck that wrestling ring looks like. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't know that the padding on that thing is probably like 1.5 to 2.5 inches thick. They don't know that there's wood. Like, that for the longest of time, fans thought that it was like it's trampoline-ish material or some kind of. They don't know, right? So in a fan's mind, they're not thinking, "Oh my God, he should go out there and slam him on the concrete." They're literally seeing somebody like Brock Lesnar rip this ring apart, and fans are getting to see for the first time, like, "Oh my God, there's like 2x4s under there." And for the longest time, again, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, you've thought of the 2x4 as this weapon, this thing that you just go and you hit somebody with and they're out, right? Like, so they see this, they see 2x4s. It's like a visual thing. Like you have to put yourself in that spot as the fan to say, like, they've never seen it before. So it's like an opening of the door to see like the deconstruction of the ring, in a sense. Does that kind of give a second perception to that, maybe like an offsetting perception, like an agree to disagree type of thing?
I understand what you're saying, and you did the best you could to try to excuse it, but no, absolutely not. Everybody knows that concrete is stronger than wood, and that's the only thing that really matters at the end of the day. The visual, I understand the visual, but you have to have a reason why you're using this visual and not a different visual. I understand that they may have killed the idea of concrete back in the Attitude Era, but it's time you have an opportunity to retrain people in how they think about things. If Moose throws Eddie onto the ground and then you don't see Eddie Edwards for like 3 months or whatever, then they might believe. But even besides all that stuff that you said, the issue here is that it took way too long and it did not end up being devastating enough to finish Eddie. So that's where you, like, whatever you might have built up and whatever good points that you might have made all went out the window when Moose ignored the wood, slam and then just hit his spear anyway. That's you wasted all your time.
Also, too, with the mystique of showing the wood and stuff, you only get to do that once.
Well, and it's already been done a lot too. Like we were talking about,
Yeah.
Gargano and Ciampa, Brock and I think Taker did it. It was done in AEW, I believe. So I mean,
Right.
it's one of those things where it's going to get overdone too. But then again, things are cyclical, right? So like, with as much as how John Moxley tried to bring back the DDT as a finisher, I'm sure there will be times again where guys go out and they start pulling the pads up and start hitting dudes on the concrete. Now they might not do that anymore because a lot of the safety issues and CTE issues and stuff like that have gone on with wrestling nowadays. They're a lot softer than they were in the Attitude Eras, where dudes were taking blunt force chair shots over and over and over again.
Well, you can actually make that a storyline, like, have somebody do a pile driver on a concrete and have the locker room pissed at him and like, what the fuck, dude? I know I get it, you have a problem with somebody, but you're taking it too far. We know with head trauma.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
CTE,
so anyway,
bro.
yeah, CTE, yeah. So wood doesn't cause it, but you know what I mean? Like, it's okay. You want to hurt him, you want to concuss him just enough. You don't want to have him have long-term issues, but you do want to give him a concussion enough that they're knocked out so you can pin him for 3 seconds. And that's the problem. When it takes Eddie like 5 minutes to do half the ring crew's job or whatever by himself, Moose looks like an idiot just sitting there, like laying there in the ring all that time, waiting for him to do it. Like, after a few minutes, I would have been like, man, I'm just going to get up and kick his ass. Fuck it. The finish is a spear anyway. I don't need him to fucking take the ring apart. I'll just spear him, whatever. Who cares? It's taking too long. It's rotten. So that's what should have happened. But, Moose is not in that position. And I'm just kind of like, but the bottom line is, man, I'm just so fucking disappointed with everybody involved in this. Like, you were joking about Eddie being Tommy Dreamer, Colin. He really is Tommy Dreamer now. He's fat. He's wearing a shirt. He's hitting people with trash can lids because he doesn't know how to have a match that can make people care without doing that. Okay? Well, newsflash, you can't do it with him either. So you might as well just not look like an idiot. And then Moose, on the other hand, you can't jeopardize his future by, being a mark and letting marks do whatever to him. On fucking Impact Plus. Of all things. Like, you could have ended Moose's career on fucking Impact Plus. Not even like a real pay-per-view for money. Impact Plus app. End of Moose's career. DVD on the apron for no reason. Like, Moose has to... Like, I know Moose isn't like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I have to. He probably wanted to do it, but he can't think like that. And no one should be asking him to do that. Like, these kind of things just have to stop. Like, they have the hardcore matches have to stop because you're just showing how lazy you are at booking things. Lazy booking, like Jim Cornette likes to say, but it's true. You're just making excuses so you can do everything that you've ever seen in one match, and that's because, like I said, just like Tommy Dreamer, you couldn't have a match without that. You don't know how to get people to care about you. You don't know how to get people to care about a simple wrestling match. You don't know how to do what MJF did at Full Gear. Did you see that match? MJF at Full Gear had a fucking match, a regular match with Darby Allin, and it was excellent. And people can't do that anymore because they don't know how. And why does he know how when he's 25? Darby is Darby's Big Ray's favorite wrestler. Big Ray doesn't watch AEW, and everybody knows that.
But Darby Allin's his favorite wrestler.
Like I said, he doesn't watch AEW. And I'm putting that out there because he's saying goodnight, and I want him to go to bed knowing that I know he doesn't watch AEW or any wrestling.
The vet knows.
Or television or movies, and he's never heard a Wu-Tang Clan song. And basically, I don't know what Big Ray does besides ride the train. But I'm not even sure he does that.
Homeless people.
I think he just gets on the train, takes a picture, and then walks.
I don't even think Ray really lives in New York. Like, I think he lives on like a set. He's like the Truman Show vet. Like, it's not real.
The power of Photoshop too. Like,
yeah,
you don't have to live in New York to just take pictures of New York and do things. So
yeah, I don't think he lives.
But yeah,
do you think he lives in the Dominican? Which is why he has a lot of Dominicans around him?
50-50 chance. That would also explain if his internet screws up sometimes.
That is true.
But yeah, so I was very, like, I already didn't want to watch this. I hope everybody understands that, like, when I see Impact putting on a 3-hour pay-per-view, the first thing I want to do is not watch it. Like, that is the first instinct. Like, everything in my body is telling me, don't watch this. You don't want to see this. But then I think about, like, doing this show, and not so much what anybody will think of me if I don't do it, but hoping that people think positively because I do it, because I have the integrity, because I take the opinion haver name seriously. It's not just a nickname. It's a way of life, damn it. And you can't have opinions if you just say a bunch of shit and you don't have any idea what you're talking about. That's what most of the rest of the internet is, and we don't need any more of that. So I want to be able to put in the time and watch these things for you. And thank you, Colin, for putting in some of the time and fast forwarding the rest of the time to talk about this stuff, because I think you definitely saw enough to understand what I'm saying when I say that the work here is not finished. Apparently I didn't go hard enough on them the last time I went hard on Impact, because they did make some changes, but now they need to make some more significant changes. And now we're talking about the health of the people under, their contract. So hopefully they will.
Well, I think I saw a lot of people, and I'm not sure how often these people watch Impact. I think Craigie H, one of the HMG listeners and fans, he said he really enjoyed Impact, and he felt like it was the best pay-per-view of the weekend.
Who said that? What is their name?
Craigie H.
Who?
He is a proud supporter of the Hami Media Group.
The best pay-per-view of the weekend, of which had 2 pay-per-views to choose from. I don't even know about that. I think Survivor Series sucked. I think it was boring and long, and it was better than this. So,
was it better than whatever this Downton Abbey is that Sonic is talking about?
Never seen it. Ain't gonna see it either, brother. I'm telling you that right now. Even if I had a Downtown Abbey review show on YouTube, I wouldn't be watching it.
Quit plugging your Downton Abbey YouTube show. God, it's not allowed here.
Yeah,
you're only allowed to plug the A show on this show.
It's good. Yeah, my YouTube show. It's going down to Abbey.
It's going down.
Yeah. What's up, guys? No, but yeah. So this sucked. I did have one question. I forgot to bring it up earlier. I wanted to, but Brandon, when you were watching Impact, did you notice that? I could be mistaken, but did you notice if there were less shots backstage using that garish, disgusting colored lighting that they've been using? Or did everybody look more like just under the natural hot lights there?
There was definitely some kind of lighting. I don't remember what kind it was, but yeah, there was lighting still being used.
I remember in Mickie, when Mickie did her promo, like the hallway behind her had like a purple accent to it.
Yeah.
But that looked different, because they would just shine the light in front of Mickie and make her look purple too when they would do it before. And now it looks like they're kind of like switching it up a little bit. So I wanted to know if we had made that significant production change yet, or if we still need to work on it.
We probably still need to put a little pressure on them.
Okay, so more work to be done.
A lot of work for you to be done here, Vet.
Well, that's all right. I'll be here doing the work at Opinion Haver every week. Impact Attack, and Sonic says the Impact Arena is so small. I heard a dude in the third row crunching chips. He's right. That was I think that were they at Sam's Town again for this? Whatever.
Sam's Club.
Sam's Club. Sam's Club has lots of space. They should be able to fit more fans in there, but they just don't have them. So yeah, Next Level Wrestling Review Wednesday.
Chips. That's the real question.
And yeah, that's it for me.
Can't wait to see what you guys got planned for the Next Level Wrestling Review there, Vet. Excited. You can hear the excitement in my voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? All right. Mm-hmm. Well, Vet, thank you. Brandon, let everybody know where they can find you at, sir.
As always, you can find me in all the places at Miss Tia the Transarchist. Just, on social media doing my thing and got my work going. So, yeah, we all good. Whoop, whoop.
I heard you get shouted out on Keeping It 100 in the Patreon list, but I don't think he knew how to pronounce your name.
That's funny. Nice. Keeping it 100. Getting the shout outs there. Well, guys, you can find me at Colin Whitesong on Twitter, at Colin Whitesong on Facebook, at Colin Whitesong on Instagram, and over on patreon.com/The A Show, twitch.tv/The A Show, and Twitter @_The A Show every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, that's tomorrow or today, actually. Later today, we will be live with April Hunter and Aaron Stevens. Sonic the Hedge Rat says that they sounded like they were honey barbecue chips that the gentleman out there in the crowd was eating on.
He knows the sound of a chip.
He knows the sound. Now we need to bring Sonic on, blindfold him, and I will bite into different chips. And Sonic tells us what flavor, or can you figure out the brand as well? Like, can you tell if I'm biting into a Dorito over a kettle cooked chip or like a baked Lay's? Buckshot Kid wants us to get on Twitch. That might be something we have to do. That make us a Twitch channel.
You can use my Twitch channel @OpinionHaver.
@OpinionHaver everywhere, guys. Catch us next week. I don't really know what I'm gonna play to take us out of here. I don't really have anything besides maybe like.
You still don't have the Moose Violent Man drop.
No, I haven't. I gotta do some stuff here. I don't.
9 days from tonight.
See us next week, guys.